Alright, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is the legendary Founding Titan, and today I'm going to be going over a tanking guide. I already kind of did this with another video, but that was well over 40 minutes long, and I kind of want to reduce that time with this video because there's newer players coming into it. We got to try to bring them into the light of being able to tank a lot more damage because maybe I know some bosses in this game, specifically with the Valkyries, I still have problems with even after all this time. There is some bosses in this game that are just really tough to take down, and they might need to be able to tank or heal from that damage that those big heavy hitters in this game actually do. So this is going to be a way for people to look at and be able to kind of see what builds they gotta want to go for to enhance their performance with being able to tank a hit and being able to heal from a hit. This is gonna be the full-on tanking slash endurance guide. All right. So obviously, if you're going for a full-on tank, the things that you're going to want to go for are obviously defense and vitality. Now, you might be wondering which one has more value. To be honest, there is no simple answer to that. I do think defense, based off the official website, defense is based off of a percentage. So it does reduce all damage you take in the game completely. So by that percentage, I mean, that is a lot of damage you are reducing with defense, especially at these numbers that I have now. I mean, even 200 defense is drastically different from, like 50. It's drastically different. You can tank a lot more damage immediately, and you'll be able to tell that immediately. Vitality is also really good, but despite me having 500 health, like 500 vitality, you can see that my HP is only 470, and that is because uh, vitality is actually based. So for each 2 points of vitality you have, it actually only equals 1 HP. So it's not entirely a lot, but it does give you that extra edge, especially if you have great ways of healing like my character does. So, yes, defense and vitality kind of have to go hand in hand together. It's never bad to have a good amount of both because vitality also makes it to where you don't get staggered as much from enemies. So, when the enemies do like those combos, like to hit get hit like 3 or 4 times, uh, you get staggered. You're constantly like wobbling around and stuff, but that will help you get out of that situation a lot faster. So you can actually, parry like immediately after one attack. Like it's so helpful. Because a lot of times you like in the early levels you just get staggered by those higher level enemies. And it's because you have lower vitality. If you're going for like a cooldown build or a full strength build, a full runic build, you name it. Um, so I do think that if you're gonna go for more of a tank build, definitely I feel like it's all about balance with vitality and defense. You really want to have quite a bit of both to have that tank build. If you are trying to prioritize strength, runic, and cooldown with anything else, like if you want to feel tankier, but you don't want to have a full build of defense and vitality, go for defense. Defense will help you a lot more than vitality would if you're just going for like if you're not going for a full tank build basically. Prioritize a little bit more on defense if you're not wanting to go for an extra tanky. Now, uh, now there is no right or wrong answer for like the runics. I would say. I think all the runics are up to you. The ones I use though, I use the charge of the white bear. I just like being able to charge into the enemy because I am a close quarter brawler. Um, I like to close a distance immediately and cause a huge stun to every enemy near me. I have the Blessing of the Frost. This one's kind of new. I don't really use this one that often, but I've been kind of enjoying it, especially against those tougher foes. Since, as you can kind of tell, my strength is nowhere near as much as probably some of your guys's. My strength is a lot less because I am just big chunkus tank over here. And then I'm gonna be talking about all the ways you can heal though. So I talked about what you gotta do for endurance. Defense. Let's talk about the endurance spectrum. So there's a lot of ways you can heal in God of War. A lot of ways you can heal in God of War. One of which, as you just saw, was through weapons. Now you can get these at lower levels as well, like this brand basically, and it is Mistborn. It is a thing that you can put a pommel you can put on your axe and your blades, and I have it for both of them. And what it does is you have a chance to actually have a healing, just healing regeneration. Anytime you actually hit a enemy, you have a slim chance of actually gaining health, which is very fantastic for when you're dealing with a mob of enemies, because that chance basically increases drastically when you have a horde of enemies with you, especially with the blades. The blades are quite special for this, although I don't think these ones don't actually heal you. But I do have a ability called Gift of Apollo, which this allows me to actually heal with me hitting the enemy. This is my way of healing with the blades is to get to the Apollo. So this is actually pretty disgusting in late game. Like I can heal well over half my health very easily when I'm hitting a horde of enemies. Even like a couple enemies I can heal a crap ton from as long as I don't die very quickly. Very good way of healing right there with the Gift of Apollo. And there's also ways you can enhance your duration of Gifts of Apollo, but that type of stuff comes later on in New Game Plus. The Blight Guard, this one just makes it to where I weaken the enemies, but that's not really endurance. But for the axe, at the very least, you can use this to heal yourself. Now, for Atreus, there is a Bitter Squirrel, which allows you to heal that way. It will drop either health orbs or rage orbs. I don't know if it depends on if you're. I don't know if it drops based on like which one you're lower on. I think it's just random. Not really sure. But you do have a chance of getting health orbs or rage orbs with that. Which, speaking of rage, that's another way of healing, is of course with your rage. And with my set specifically, increase the damage inflicted from all barehanded attacks. Um, you don't need a this armor piece for that. There is cards that you can actually grab that allow you to do just this, which can also help you get an edge on your opponents as well when you do go in rage mode. And there is some enemies like the big night dudes, the ice guys, that can actually make your life a lot easier, being able to do a little bit more damage to them with your unarmed attacks because they're pretty tanky against your blade and axe. Because you need blunt weapons, and Kratos' fists just they get the job done, but having that extra increase will definitely help you with those tougher armored targets. So, but that's just another way of healing too, is with of course the rage. The other way you can heal is with of course the talisman. This also is you can find a talisman like this on lower levels. I know I've gotten it at like level 3, level 4. I've gotten a lot of these talismans. I just don't have any of them anymore because, well, they're all obsolete to me now. But this talisman once you grab it, it can also grant you a burst of healing through that as well. Very good, very useful. It can get you an edge in a fight. A lot of times, I find it just, I mean, especially against Valkyries, it just gives you a slight buff in their ability, essentially. Um, Now the rage buff, so this increases the rate at which rage is being gained. So when you cut enemies down, executing them, this helps you increase that meter rate faster. So you can gain. It goes up to 30%, and we already established earlier, rage makes you heal faster. Like when you're hitting enemies, you heal from it. If you can use that rage even more often, that's fantastic. You don't need this armor piece to do it, but I do think you get this armor piece, like in mid game, somewhere around there, mid game, which is typically where you start having issues. I feel like is in the mid game section. I feel like that's when the difficulty is at its hardest for me. For me anyway. I feel like mid game is definitely the hardest part. But increasing the rate at your rage, well, regenerates is just always fantastic because that just leads to gaining more health as well when you are able to use it more often. There's another armor piece. It's the mist sets. The mist sets, typically they will be like, a lot of them have health regeneration on them. It stacks up to 5 times. You could get them through the cards, like the sockets. You could get, just the armor pieces that do it. But that is another passive way you can heal as well. Uh, and then luck does. I was gonna say luck gives you more health orbs, but I think that's only in Ragnarok. So, but outside of that, that is about all of out of all the things I just stated. That is probably all of the ways you can heal in the game, and obviously just picking up health orbs around the map. Um, but yeah, there is quite a bit of ways you can heal in the game. Um, but yeah, like I feel like there is more I could talk about, but um, I feel like I got the main points down. So for defensive vitality, I definitely would prioritize both of them if you're trying to build a more tanky approach. If you're trying to build a hybrid, or if you're just trying to get past the game and you want to be more tanky, go more defense. I promise that will do more than vitality, especially if you don't have that many ways of healing. Vitality is going to be much less useful than defense in that case. Vitality, I only have more of because I have a lot of ways of healing it. But if you don't have a lot of ways of healing it, I would definitely prioritize a lot more defense in that case. Now, you might be wondering, is cooldown an option to go for? It is absolutely an option to go for, uh, specifically with the Gifts of Apollo. If you want more endurance, the Gifts of Apollo. If you can reduce that cooldown, that would be great because my cooldown takes well over like almost 2 minutes to actually cool down. It is just a way. I only ever use it when I'm half dead because I know for a fact I won't be able to use it for quite a while. So cooldown is totally an option as well if you're trying to build for more durability slash endurance. Um, Now, it if you came here wondering what the best tank set is, um, I can't really give you a definite answer for that because it really all depends on your play style. Whether that's you want to be able to spam your abilities more with cooldown, whether that's to tear your opponents down faster with strength. But um, I feel like any armor set that looks like this uh, typically is gonna be your more tanky sets, as they just have a shit ton of a shit ton of health and defense on him. Like for instance, the Fallen Ash. Look at that. Look at that defense. Has 155 defense. Not a lot of strength, but look at that defense. Like that's a shit ton of defense. Um, another one is the of course the Mist, which is like a balance between defense, vitality, and strength. And it gives you that health regeneration. Honestly, for the most like well-rounded, I would say the Endless Mist kind of just gives you it. Just really good for all three of the of strength, defense, and vitality. It just gives you a good balance between those three. I would say the Mist is more of a hybrid item rather than full tank item because I think the more tanky stuff is like the like the Fallen Ash, the Traveler because it gives you 100 defense and vitality. Then there's the Pauldron of the Ancients, which gives you, if you have max stacks on it anyway, gives you 85% reduction to frostburn and poison attacks, which is really good for also dealing with some of those Valkyries. I think, yeah, some of the Valkyries have frost, some of the Valkyries have burn. I'm not sure. I don't remember if some of them do poison. It's been a while. So I'm not sure if some of them do poison. There might be one that does poison. I really don't know. But regardless, it does have a shit ton of defense. Actually, second highest in the game behind the Fallen Ash. Uh, yeah, and it gives you great strength. This is definitely a hybrid item, though. Hybrid set piece, as it gives you a shit ton of strength as well. Um, Now, in my honest opinion, if you're looking for the best, either well-rounded or just the best tank set in general, like I said, I do think it is hard for me to answer that. But if you had a gun to my head and I had to answer, I would say the Valkyrie. Reason being, look at its stats. It gives 35 strength, 35 runic, 100 defense, 25 vitality, 45 cooldown. I mean, holy fucking shit. This thing gives a absolute metric fuck ton of stats, right? It gives a crap ton of stats. It gives you a unstoppable aura, which allows you to just completely ignore enemy attacks for, I mean, uh, yeah, like it just completely allows you to do whatever the hell you want until they break that aura, essentially. Um, and I forget if the other pieces have, yeah, low perk chance to instantly refresh runic attack cooldowns on any successful runic attack kill. Very fucking disgusting if it activates. I mean, you can just, I mean, the possibility of being able to reactivate your runics, that is disgusting. I feel like the Valkyrie set is probably like the best armor set for just being able to just keep going. Like, I mean, cause let me just show you. I'm not even gonna put sockets in it. Uh, so my Apollo was almost 2 minutes before. Now it is 74 seconds, and I don't even have cooldown perks in it. And my defense is still relatively high. I still have good defense. My vitality took a major hit though, but that's because I have no sockets. Uh, but yeah, I mean this armor is just really really good. I would say this is probably like the best, honestly, probably the best armor set in the game all around. Just because it just does a little bit of everything. It really does. But that's gonna have to do it for this one. I don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer. I feel like I kind of explained everything the best of my ability. I gave you good tips. I feel like good tips for being like all the ways you can heal, like all the ways like you know what to prioritize between defense and vitality, how to build more properly. At least a little bit I helped with. I try to cram as much words into this as I can because I'm trying to just wrap this up. because I didn't want to make it 40 minutes long. It's still gonna be like 20 minutes, I think, but that's way better than what it was before. There's just a lot to explain though, so I'm sorry that it took this long. But if you guys did enjoy some or learn something from this guide, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.